So Judith, obviously it's been a little while now since we were last down here. Perhaps you give us a little update on what's been going on.
Yeah, no problem. Well, we've had a severe lack of water this year, which hasn't helped the situation at all. However, the potatoes are coming into fruition and they seem to be doing okay. What hasn't done so well are carrots. There seemed to be some problem with germination of seed, and that we're not alone with that. A lot of our allotment neighbours have had a similar problem, and also beetroot hasn't done as well as I would have expected either. In terms of the runner beans, however, I grew the plants at home and they are actually doing incredibly well this year, despite the fact they haven't had a huge amount of water, but we've got lots of flowers, so presumably they will turn into lots of lovely runner beans and dwarf beans. Broccoli we've got here, we're trying to make sure this year that we keep it netted so that we don't get any bugs on that tend to eat all the veg, and the broccoli is doing quite well. Later this month I'll probably be putting some sprouts and cauliflower in here in the cage as well, so hopefully we'll get some good veg from that. Raspberries are doing okay. They have had advantage of some of the rain that we've had. However, strawberries were a bit lacking this year due to the fact that we didn't have a huge amount of rain when we should have had, and so they only lasted a couple of weeks and they were relatively small. So I'm afraid overall we need much more rain on this allotment.
Yeah, the weather's been really quite challenging this year, isn't it?
It most certainly has, and our neighbours around us have all said the same, but I dare say there probably isn't many allotment holders who are terribly happy about their crops this year. But you know, sunflowers have done incredibly well, and they were self-seeding, so they've obviously gone deep and found some water from somewhere. Overall I don't think it's going to be the best year for the allotment.
Yeah.
But you know, there's always next year.
Well, it's the long game, isn't it? And you know, as we found last time looking at the soil, you know, on quite heavy clay soil here, and you know, to get the organic matter levels up to a significant level, you know, it's going to take a bit of time and quite a bit of repeat application.
Yes, I would certainly agree with that, and the soil is certainly, as you've said, is clay, and of course when it dries up, you know, we've got massive cracks in it. We've had an earthquake, so you know that doesn't help. That doesn't help the situation either.
No. Well, we'll have a look at some of how the soil sort of progressed since last time in a minute, and then we're going to get some organic matter on the soil. We've got some Nutrimulch to spread, so let's crack on.
Great.
So it's been about 4 months now since we were last down here and spread the maxi mulch, and I just thought it'd be quite interesting to stick a fork in the ground and have a look to see how the organic matter's been turned in by the worms that we looked at back at the end of February. So if you dig in, you can still see that the soil's sort of still, you know, heavy clay as you'd expect to find in this part of the world, but immediately as you dig it up, even though the surface looks dry, you can already see that the moisture's being held in the soil here, and you've actually got sort of quite a nice dark colour, and to sort of grow a crop like potatoes, you know, in this environment would be a real struggle normally. I mean, these sorts of crops, you know, prefer a sandier textured soil, but you know, this is looking really good, and you can see there that the maxi mulch, although it's still, you know, there's a bit of a surface layer, it's starting to find its way in, and over time with repeat application this will start to become a much darker, much more organic, much richer soil, and be able to support plants, you know, right the way through the summer with a lot less watering, which is obviously a challenge on allotments like this, because there's no tap nearby, so all of the water's got to be carted down here. I'm sure a lot of you allotment holders out there will sympathise with that, so the more you can do to save on watering, the better. The other good thing about the Nutrimulch that we're going to spread today is that not only is it adding organic matter to the soil, it's also got a nice amount of available nutrient, so as we start to get a bit of rain, hopefully we'll get some rain, that nutrient will wash through and actually give all of the plants a bit of a feed as well. So without further ado, we're going to get on and spread some Nutrimulch. So yeah, the easiest way to go about spreading the Nutrimulch is just to put a decent heap of it on the ground and then just carefully sort of spread it around the plant. So, you know, you can just, what you want to do is just make sure that the plants themselves aren't being entirely squashed by it. So we'll just tease them through. There we go, and then we can just use a fork or a rake just to gently sort of spread this round. And ideally we want, I mean, you could really on ground like this, you know, we could put a fair bit on. Obviously with any allotment, you know, you've got to think about budget, and you know, to cover a big area like this at 75 millimeters or so, you know, is going to involve quite a bit of compost. But you know, as much as you know you feel you can put on, it's all going to help. But here we're going to put on a couple of inches and just gently spread it all around the plants. And this, as we go into sort of the later summer, which traditionally is always sort of the hottest, driest bit, when we tend to sort of get heat waves and droughts, this is hopefully going to sort of give these plants a bit of a head start. If you want to take advantage of an offer we have on at the moment, then subscribe to our compost club. There's a link on our website, and once you've subscribed, we'll send you our monthly, or as normally monthly, periodical newsletter, within which there is a special promotion where you can get 20% off a bag of Nutrimulch, or as much Nutrimulch as you want, which is, as you might imagine, quite a generous discount, and we're running that until the 24th of July. So yeah, subscribe to the Compost Club and get 20% off Nutrimulch.